Have we misunderstood Jesus all along? What if his teachings weren't just about religion, but instead pointed to a truth that's already inside you? Stay with me, because Eckhart Tolle's profound perspective on Jesus and the kingdom of heaven might completely transform how you see yourself and the world. Eckhart Tolle, a teacher known for his profound spiritual insights, takes Jesus' words and reveals something extraordinary. They're not just lessons from history, they're blueprints for awakening to your true essence. In this video, we'll explore faith, presence, and the kingdom of heaven in a way you've never heard before. And trust me, you'll leave this video with a deeper understanding of yourself and your purpose. Let me share a story Eckhart tells. A couple hears the famous verse about faith moving mountains. Inspired, the wife decides to believe the small hill outside their window will vanish overnight. But when it doesn't, her response? "I knew it wouldn't work." That's not faith. Eckhart explains that true faith isn't about forcing belief or hoping for miracles. It's about connecting with the formless power of consciousness, the life force within you. In other words, faith is a felt sense of the stillness beneath the noise of the mind, a connection to something deeper than thoughts or ego. And here's the most beautiful part. When you experience this, you realize faith isn't external. It's the essence of who you are. True faith is alignment with the source of all life. But if faith is about connecting with the essence of who you are, then what is blocking us from doing that? Eckhart introduces the idea of personality versus essence. Personality is the ego, the roles we play, the image we try to maintain. But essence? That's who we are at our core, beyond the layers of identity. He uses an analogy from Gurdjieff, who said most people develop strong personalities but little essence. This means we stay stuck in surface-level living. But when we quiet the noisy mind and let the ego step aside, essence begins to shine through. Here's a quick example. Have you ever felt the need to constantly explain yourself or defend your choices, even when no one's asking? That's personality at work. Now, think about a time when you simply observed something beautiful, a sunrise, a child laughing, and felt complete peace. That's essence. And when you live from that space, life becomes more meaningful, more authentic, and less tied to what others think. This idea of essence leads us to one of Jesus' most profound teachings, the kingdom of heaven. When most people hear this phrase, they think of a physical place or an afterlife reward. But Eckhart reveals that the kingdom of heaven is much closer than that. It's a dimension within you, a state of spaciousness and pure consciousness. He compares it to the sky, vast, open, and formless. It's not something you can touch, but it's there, holding everything. Similarly, the kingdom of heaven is the stillness behind your thoughts, the awareness that allows you to perceive and exist. Eckhart says this is the most important realization. The kingdom of heaven isn't something you find or where you might end up. It's something you access by letting go of thought and ego. And when you live from that space, everything else in life falls into place. This brings us to an important question. What about God? Eckhart rarely uses the word God, and for good reason. For centuries, the term has been misunderstood, reduced to a controlling entity or a male figure in the sky. Instead, Eckhart describes the divine as the source of all life. Think of the sun. It doesn't choose to give light, it simply radiates. God, the divine, is like that, continuously emanating through everything, including you. And when you align with the present moment, you step into that flow. So, what is God's will after all? It's not something external telling you what to do. It's being fully present and connected to the intelligence that underlies all of life. This is where we find true alignment, free from the ego's interpretations. And this brings us back to Eckhart's central teaching, the present moment. The present moment is all we ever have. It's not a theory. It's an undeniable reality. Let me share a real-life example of this. Imagine someone waiting in traffic, frustrated, thinking about how late they're going to be. That frustration is resistance to the present moment. But if they pause, breathe, and accept the situation as it is, something shifts. The moment doesn't change at all, but their experience of it does. They find peace, even in chaos. That's the power of presence. When we resist the now, we create suffering. But when we accept it, we align with life itself. And here's the beauty. This isn't something you need to believe. It's something you can experience every day. Eckhart says the present moment is the gateway to everything: faith, essence, and the kingdom of heaven. When you surrender to what is, you step out of the ego and into a state of being that is free, limitless, and aligned with the divine. Eckhart Tolle's interpretation of Jesus goes beyond religious dogma. It's an invitation to realize the universal truths within his words. Faith isn't blind belief, it's the power of consciousness. The kingdom of heaven isn't a place, it's the spaciousness within you. And when we let go of the ego, embrace stillness, and align with the present moment, we become vessels for the divine to express itself through us. This, Eckhart says, is the ultimate purpose of being human.